Hello everyone, my name is Joe Frederick. Today in my video, I am going to talk about two topics. The first one is recycling and waste management, and the second one is miscommunication caused by language barrier. Let's start with the first one, shall we? I will explain briefly what recycling and waste management is. Recycling is a process or an act of converting waste materials into new materials. It is done through collecting, sorting, cleaning, treating, restoring, and finally converting the waste materials into new materials for new products. Some of the most common materials that can be recycled are glass, papers, and metals, as they are frequently used daily. Now, let's talk about waste management. Waste management is a term that refers to all of the various actions taken and plans created to manage waste. Recycle, which I mentioned earlier, is also a type of waste management practice alongside refuse, reduce, reuse, and repurpose. Waste management is aimed to increase the product's life cycle and reuse and recover materials where possible in order to reduce the total amount of waste that goes into landfill and minimize the environmental burden. However, despite the good effect that recycling and waste management bring to the environment, various countries still face issues in implementing these practices amongst its people. Malaysia is among these countries. So, why is that? Well, there are several factors that contribute to such circumstances. Firstly, it is the lack of commitment among Malaysian people in every generation regarding the importance of recycling and waste management. A survey from Institute for Youth Research Malaysia was conducted to view the public's attitude towards recycling and waste management. The survey showed that a majority of 99% respondents claim that they are aware of recycling program in their area. However, only less than 30% were actually participating in those programs. I have also interviewed my friend to ask about his views on these issues. Alright everyone, so today I'm going to make an interview with one of my friends. This is Ada. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, so let's get to the first question. So, Ada,
Yes.
have you heard of any kind of recycling program in your area?
Yeah, there has been a lot of recycling programs recently around my area, and a lot of people actually joined that program.
Oh, okay, okay. So, did you ever participate in those programs?
It's sad to say that actually no, I've never joined or I've rarely joined those kind of programs because I think that I always see that there's already a lot of people joining the program in the first place. So I thought to myself like, why would I need to join if there's already enough people? So I never really joined any of their programs.
Okay, alright. This highlight major commitment problem to implement recycling and waste management practice nationwide. Another factors could be lack of necessary means and resources like proper recycling bins and recycling centers to encourage people to recycle and manage waste materials properly. This could be caused by insufficient funding by the government to carry out this initiative. If these situations continue, Malaysia might face serious waste management problem as more landfills needed to be created, which could affect nearby environment greatly. As we know, the waste materials in landfills contain a lot of dangerous chemicals mixed together which will negatively impact the soil and air surrounding the landfills. However, the advancements of science and technology has presented some solutions to these issues. The inventions of smart waste bins can help people to recycle and manage waste properly. These bins use AI to automatically sort recyclables into separate compartments. This could make material processing faster and easier for recycling facilities, lower waste management costs by as much as 80%, and drastically improve employee efficiency. The usage of AI recycling robots can greatly benefit recycling centers. These robots can accurately identify and sort recyclable materials, increasing efficiencies and reducing the need for human workers. This can help recycling centers save money over time and help divert materials that would otherwise end up in landfills. Overall, Malaysia is still far from being efficient in recycling and waste management. But if provided with enough funding and proper technology, Malaysia can solve these issues much faster than expected. That is all for my video regarding recycling and waste management. Now, let's move on to the next topic, which is miscommunication caused by language barrier. Miscommunication can be defined as failure to communicate adequately or properly. There are many reasons miscommunications can happen, but for this video, we will focus solely on one reason, which is language barriers. For those who don't know, language barrier is a barrier to communication between people who are unable to speak a common language. This occurs a lot when two or more people try to communicate with each other without speaking the same language. This obviously will cause miscommunication if parties involved have little to no knowledge about the other language used by the opposite parties. Malaysian people also face the same problem, given that Malaysia is a multiracial and multicultural country with hundreds of different languages. For example, people who speak Malay with no language about other languages may misinterpret words from those other races who try to communicate using their own language. This happened a lot because there are Malaysians who did not master the decent skill to speak Malay, which is the national and official unifying language of Malaysia. There are many factors that contribute to some Malaysians not being able to master the Malay language skill. One of them is the lack of patriotism and love towards national language. Senior Research Fellow at the Institute of Ethnic Studies, KITA, University Kebangsaan Malaysia, Associate Prof. Dr. Zaini Othman cited lack of love and sense of belonging for Malay language as among the key factors as to why the Malay language competency issues still exist, especially among non-native speakers. There are some Malaysians who lack the confidence or are ashamed to use Malay in their daily conversation. Other factor for the lack of mastery in Malay is that it is not enforced as core subject nationwide in every school. Vernacular school, for example, only use Malay during a class sessions about the Malay language subject. Outside of that, learning sessions are done in respective mother tongue language of each vernacular schools. This caused some Malaysians to have poor mastery in Malay even when they reach middle school. I've interviewed one of my friends and asked his opinion on the miscommunication caused by language barrier in Malaysia. Have you faced some kind of miscommunication caused by language barrier in Malaysia?
When I try to think of the past, I think that there have been some issues of miscommunication that have been here. Because one, I mostly use English in my day-to-day communication with other people. So, and because most people in Malaysia are, of course, speak Malay, it tends to be more difficult for me to try to talk to them.
Okay. Now, did you ever feel ashamed to use Malay to socialize in your daily life?
Feel ashamed of using Malay? Honestly, there have been times I've been ashamed of myself for using Malay when I try to talk to other people because my Malay is not that good. So when I try to talk to other people in Malay, sometimes they make fun of me of how I sounded like to them, how I pronounce words to them, and it affected me emotionally, and hence why I rarely use Malay in my day-to-day life with other people around me, and I tend to use English because I've been exposed to English language since an early age. So because of that, I know more English words than Malay words, which is embarrassing as a Malaysian myself.
Okay. If these miscommunication issues are not handled properly, it can greatly affect the Malaysian community in the long term. Such effect of these miscommunication issues is further dividing Malaysian people in the increasingly polarizing world. Without a common unifying language, Malaysian people may lose their patriotism and sense of unity, which can threaten the country's stability. Some measures need to be taken in order to address and fix this issue. One measure that can be taken is to implement the use of Malay language from early childhood. This can help many Malaysians to steadily master Malay language as they learn from basic to complicated level of Malay over the course of their life, from kindergarten to higher learning institution and finally into adulthood. Another way is to normalize using Malay language in both formal and informal settings. This indirectly encourages every Malaysians to increase their proficiency in Malay, as they are expected to use them while socializing every day. Both of these measures can be reinforced by implementing technology to help with the process to master the Malay language. Google Translate and Duolingo are both useful tools to help strengthening the comprehension of every Malaysian, as it helps provide equivalent meaning of Malay words in other language which can be useful for non-native speaker. In short, lack of mastery of a language can cause language barrier, which in turn will lead to miscommunication. Hence, it is very important to be proficient in more than one language, especially one that is used widely to avoid miscommunication from happening. To summarize, science and technology has been extremely helpful in addressing these issues as they are the products of the people trying to find solutions to these problems. That's all from me. Thank you for watching.